Kane's been fired and tension continues to rise before and after the July 4th fireworks. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hey everyone, this is Rachel Goodman, and let's listen to our wonderful intro music. This gets me every time. Such an amazing song. I don't know about you guys, but when I'm listening to this song when it first comes on, I kind of want to just keep going, especially with some of the events that are going on sometimes. It's a lot calmer than the things that we've been seeing in the latest episodes. So we have in our chat today, I'm just going to go ahead and start with some shout outs. We have Joe and Emily. We have Brian, Demo, Aaron, and we have Joe saying, dance, dance, dance. Okay, I'm going to dance as the request has been made. And yeah, it's just me today. So I love the theme too, Demo. It's amazing. And okay, so let's start off. I do have one more shout out to make. It goes to LF Enoch. She's the costume designer, and I think she did a fabulous job in the last episode with all the costumes, especially the bright red outfit that Mariah was wearing in the very last episode. That was definitely amazing. So shout outs to her. And all right, let's start since we just had our 4th of July week. I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday. So we're going to start with the 4th of July and talk about all the amazing and very conflicted tension that we were having in those scenes. Okay, so Nick versus Scott. I thought that someone was going to throw a punch. They kept meeting each other, and they kept, especially Nick, the way he was reacting to Scott. It's like he didn't trust the guy. And now, I've only been watching the show 3 weeks, so I could be missing a lot of history that's there. But to me, I kind of thought that Nick was being really aggressive towards Scott. And I know Scott's working with Victor, but Scott, to me, hasn't done anything that would warrant that attitude. So to me, I thought Nick was more of the bad guy, and Scott was kind of just defending himself. Now, of course, it takes two to tango, and they kind of both had their moments. But overall, I thought that Nick was the one who kind of was starting a lot of it. And it was especially awkward when the two of them were fighting in front of their girlfriends. However, I'd like to give props to Sharon and Chelsea. Instead of causing a cat fight, they actually took the higher route, and they were actually supporting each other, and they kind of recognized that especially Nick was kind of being, emotional and very aggressive. So they worked together and kind of supported each other instead of being angry towards each other. Oh, okay, so let's see. Aaron says, Nick is so jealous of every guy who dates Sharon. Yeah, I was kind of getting that too. I looked up their history, and it sounds like, I know they were high school sweethearts and everything, and honestly, even though they're not together, I kind of ship the two of them, so I hope that one day they'll be able to work it out. But yeah, I could kind of see Nick being jealous of every guy that Sharon dates. And then, okay, Demo says, Nick was very rude to Scott, but I feel like Nick is still in love with Sharon. He seems very jealous. Yeah, Demo, I 100% agree with you. I think at one point, if this keeps, as the storyline moves along, I kind of see of them eventually getting back together somehow. They both seem like they really care about each other. And even when Sharon was talking to Mariah about, having more than just one love in her life, I still felt like Nick was that love for her, even though she was saying you could have multiple loves. And okay, let's see. Steve says, oh my God, she has a spider in her hair. I think it's a brown recluse. Me? I don't know. Well, in any case, moving along. I don't know. Did someone have a spider in their hair? If they did, I missed it, or maybe I'm not seeing the joke. Aaron, yes, he clearly still loves her, Demo. Yeah, so we have a lot of people saying Nick is still in love with Sharon, and I 100% agree. Okay, let's move along here. Let's talk about Mariah and Dewan. Now, I don't know if I'm the only one, but I actually felt really, really, really bad for Mariah, considering she's dating this guy, and he keeps staring at his ex. I mean, come on, like, it's courtesy. Like, stop staring at Hilary and pay attention to your girlfriend. That, to me, was like, oh my God, why is this guy doing this? If anything, I think that Mariah had a right to be even more affected by what was going on. I mean, obviously she was affected, but I feel like she really handled that well, considering what he was doing. Let's see. Joe says, it's a big love triangle. Yeah, it kind of sounded more like not just a love triangle, but it was like a 4-person, love situation where, obviously Jordan, I don't even know why Jordan would still be with Hilary at this point. That was another thing that was going on. And how Jordan just kept, he basically said he would forgive Hilary for that side of her that he didn't like. I don't know, though. We'll get into Jordan a little more when we talk about Lily and Kane, but I honestly think that Jordan is way more into Lily than he wants to admit to himself, number one. Number two, he totally left Hilary and was like, yep, gotta go, Lily's calling. So obviously the guy has his priorities a little mixed up, and yeah, I think we're gonna end up realizing that he wants Lily. Let's see. Aaron Brody says, oh my God, Devin was drooling over Hilary in her swimsuit. Yeah. Yeah, that was, I saw that too. Oh my God. Emily says, sounds weird to me. Yeah, there's a lot of, interesting / weird things happening at the moment. But just circling back a little bit to Mariah and Dewan, I just want to say one more thing. So when Abby came in and she was like, yeah, I don't see you guys being together, I thought that was a little weird, but at the same time, it almost sounded like she was speaking from experience somehow, like she knew Dewan enough to suggest this. And I agree with Abby that Dewan and Mariah do not seem right for each other either. And one of my thoughts is that they're going to break up in the near future. Either they're going to break up or something's going to happen and it's going to make them come together and be, like, I guess, more passionate with each other. But I'm just not seeing the chemistry between Mariah and Dewan. I don't know about you guys, what you think, but not seeing it here. Let's see. Turtle Slayer says, let Adam come back so Nick can go back to Sharon. All I'm saying is Faith better not come back as a teenager. I hate when they make people grow up. Yeah, I was reading about Abby too, and I saw that they had her jump from being a little kid to suddenly a teenager to suddenly, I think in 2008, they made her 21. Yeah, so I don't know how they can get away with it like that. If, like, just from watching the last couple of weeks, if I suddenly saw, for example, Faith just jump and become a teenager, I think that would be kind of strange. So that's just what I think about that. Demo says, Devin got very defensive with Abby when she said him and Mariah are a mismatch. He still loves his ex-wife. Yeah, Devon totally loves Hilary. You can see it. He did get defensive, though, when Abby said that you guys aren't, Mariah and him aren't right together. So, I mean, I guess he's not being a completely bad boyfriend. Like, I guess he at least believes that him and Mariah are good together, but I don't even know. Maybe he doesn't even realize all those times he was staring at Hilary. I mean, it was so obvious. I didn't count how many, but I swear it was at least 3 or 4 times where we saw him, oogling Hilary from, like, the very way back distance. Let's see. Demo says, yeah, I agree. Mariah and Devin, no chemistry. Yeah, seriously. Completely agree. Aaron says, I heard Faith becomes a teenager when she comes back from summer camp. Oh, wow. Well, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't seem to me, it would kind of throw me. I haven't seen that happen yet. But one thing I really like is that I think the actress who plays Mariah, I know originally she was playing the twin, and she's been around a while, right, guys? So I kind of like how they did that, how she got to, like, grow with the show, and, they put her in a different role now, which is cool. But so far, I really like Mariah. So, are we ready to talk about Kane, Lily, and Juliet? I know I am. So let's jump into it. Okay, so Kane got fired. Yeah, so I saw that coming. I think Abby and I both talked about that last week, where definitely think that he deserved it. And honestly, I thought she would have fired him sooner. What did the guy expect? That he wasn't completely honest, not just with Lily, but with his company. And Victoria trusted him. He just should have been honest. So I kind of feel bad for him because he generally seems like a good person. But on the other hand, I don't feel bad for him because he screwed himself. So it's kind of his own fault. And yeah, I think he got what he deserved there. Yeah, Aaron says, "Oh my God, Kane!" I'm sorry, but it's in all caps. So the way I read that was like a Star Trek thing, like Khan, except Kane. So yeah, I just had to say it like that. But and what's up with Lily forgiving Kane? She's so back and forth with that. I mean, Jordan has a really good point that hello, leave the guy. He's probably gonna lie to her again. I thought it was cool that he was the one who went through her phone, though, and like he was genuinely being a really good friend. Like, I honestly really enjoyed those scenes because it's like, okay, this guy Jordan is really a good person that he would just sit there and even be the one to look through the phone. Yeah, okay, a little weird, but still, the fact that he would do that for her, knowing how much stress she's under, was pretty cool. And I agree with Jordan on this one. Like, what's she doing at this point? Yeah, I know she cheated in the past, and Kane forgave her, but she was honest with it, and she didn't do it the same way that he did it. And there's so much back and forth between the two of them, and I feel bad for their kids now too, because now they're not being honest with them. Demo says, yes, Kane brought it on himself about the firing. His life is crumbling. Yeah, it's totally crumbling. Demo also says, Lily is very nasty to Juliet, but it takes two people to cheat. Kane is not an angel. Yeah, I agree. And the thing is, Kane was the one who was irresponsible. He got drunk. It takes two people to tango. So it's definitely, Kane definitely has a lot of blame to take for the situation. Aaron says Victoria should have fired everybody. Yeah, I mean, all around, you know what strikes me as being very odd is the fact that nothing's happening to Billy. Now, it was pretty much Billy and Kane that kind of messed up the whole job situation in the first place. So the fact that, I mean, it kind of stinks that Juliet would have to get fired for that. But I feel like it should come to light what happened with Billy and Kane. And I think that's part of the puzzle that Victoria's missing, I think it would be interesting if it comes back up, which, it's a soap, it probably will. And it'll be interesting to see her reaction when she finds out the full story. If she doesn't know already, I'm assuming she doesn't, because I haven't seen her, admitting or recognizing any of this in the last couple weeks I've been watching. Cheyenne says, I don't feel bad for Mariah because she started dating Devin the same day he filed for divorce from Hilary. Huh, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I guess she should recognize that you can't just go from one relationship to another without having to kind of, be a rebound, and that obviously DeJuan was still getting over Hilary, and I don't know how long it's been, but seriously, if that's, her dating him right away like that, yeah, I guess she should expect that. That's interesting to note, but I still kind of feel bad for her, but I understand your point too completely. Demo says, Victoria won't fire Billy because she's in love with him. Yeah, you know what? I noticed that too, and that's another couple that I'm kind of shipping. And I don't know, I know a little bit about their history, but I never saw them together. But they both seem like they kind of still care about each other. And I know we were kind of talking about that last week a little too, and how Billy's probably more passionate around Phyllis, but Victoria and him are probably mentally more right for each other in terms of, I guess, who they are as people. Okay, Turtle Slayer says, Okay, just had Young and the Restless Canada Facebook page shout you out. Awesome. Thank you so much. That is very appreciated. Awesome. Thank you guys for participating in this chat too. It is definitely helping me. This is my first time doing this alone, so it is definitely helping to have a bunch of people here with me. You guys are all amazing, and I'm going to continue to use your comments, so keep them coming. Okay, let's move on a little to Juliet's conversation with Hilary. So I love how Juliet's trying to act like the good person in this situation. Like, you know, we should still feel bad for her, like she's completely the victim. When we heard that tape the other week that's on the USB drive where Hilary, and I'm going to get to her because I cannot stand Hilary, but we heard that tape where basically Hilary had somehow recorded her saying that Cain had not sexually, you know, bribed her, I guess, or whatever they're calling it. And yeah, so interesting that Hilary's kind of playing that, and she's got this tape, and I love how they said, I love how Juliet like specifically said, we're the only two people who know about that. Now, that to me, I even wrote down that quote because I was like, yeah, Juliet's saying that. Next week, we're probably going to find out that Hilary's going to use that tape against her, because otherwise they would not have they wouldn't have stressed it by Juliet, you know, actually saying we're the only two people who know. So, well, it'd be interesting to see what happens with that. And Brian McGee, thank you so much. Demo, thank you. Emily, thank you. Joe. Demo says, Juliet is being manipulated by Hilary. She's more worried about Cain than being pregnant. Yeah, I did like that, though. That the fact that she actually was concerned about Cain, and I definitely, even though I don't think Juliet is completely the victim here, I still felt way worse for her than, obviously, Hilary. Not that there's anything to feel bad about with Hilary, but at least with Juliet, I mean, if she's, you know, at least we think she really is pregnant, so I guess we could feel bad for her there. I did love how Juliet said that she wasn't going to raise the child by herself, that she did want Cain to be part of the child's life. So she's not completely crazy or messed up, or, you know, she does have a really good side to her. And if the baby ends up being Cain's, we'll see what happens with that. And, you know, the other thing I was wondering too, when Hilary asked if Juliet had feelings for Cain, it almost looked like Juliet was going to say yes. So I wonder if things between Lily and Cain end, if they're going to start pushing this romance with Juliet and Cain. I don't know what you guys think about that, if you guys would like that, wouldn't like it. I don't know if you guys prefer a Lily and Cain relationship at this point. Let's see. Aaron says, Hilary's pissing me off suddenly, not wanting to take any responsibility for Juliet, but she's the one who pushed her into the lawsuit in the first place. I completely agree with you. Hilary, I don't know, like, I mean, I've heard, Abby and I were talking about this, how Hilary just is always causing trouble, but just even with this little thing, well, not little, this is huge, but even with this thing right here, it's like, what is wrong with Hilary? What is she trying to do? She makes me so angry. Like, her level of manipulation, the fact that she's gonna, you know, looks like she's gonna try to harm Juliet's reputation now. And now, like, if she does that, she's not only ruining things for Juliet, but she's also ruining things for her because she has a child. So if somehow, and I don't know how this would work, but if somehow that tape got out and the settlement got reversed, I don't know that that could happen because they've already signed it, but let's just say it could, then Juliet and her baby, oh man, they would have no money and she would have no job, and yeah, that would be a really big shame, and that would make me dislike Hilary even more than I do now, which, yeah, I do not like her. Demo says that she wants a Lily and Cain split. Jordan should be with Lily. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, Jordan and Lily seem like they're right for each other, and what is Jordan doing with Hilary? He's such a good person, and she is so not. So yeah, Jordan and Lily, definitely. So, okay, I'm just going to make one more comment about the whole Cain situation with the paternity test. Juliet seemed really willing to go and do that with him, but I don't know. something seems up. Like, I almost wonder what's going to happen when they get those results back. I mean, either way, Cains admitted that he slept with Juliet, but part of me still doubts it's his baby. I don't know what you guys think. Let me know, and I will, we can talk about that more, but I don't know. Something tells me it might not be his baby. After all this drama, that would be an interesting, you know, flip there. So, Maddy and Reid, that is a really interesting situation now because they just found out that their parents worked together. Well, I guess Lily still works there, so I guess I can say worked, or work, present tense. I actually really like that relationship between Maddy and Reid. I know it hasn't really started yet, and it might not start now, but I really like them. They seem very, like, you know, innocent in a way, and they seem like they're both good kids, and it seems like they kind of balance each other out, especially with Maddy, who, you know, obviously she's all into her studies, which is great, but maybe Reid can kind of help show her that, you know, it's not all work and no fun. You can go to movies and still hang out with people. Just seems like a nice romance that's blossoming, and it's a shame that, you know, things are happening with their parents where they might be hesitant to the relationship, but I still like, you know, where things are going with them regardless of what's happening with their parents and what might happen. Let's see. Joe says, the fix is in. Kane is paying someone off to switch the test. Yes, that could be a definite possibility, and I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, Kevin and Chloe. Can I just say that the doctor creeped me out and made me laugh at the same time, especially when he had them do that ceremony for her graduation, and he kept calling her Maggie after his daughter. I wasn't sure if the guy was playing a game that he was so obsessed with the game that he started believing it, or if he was just literally like, I don't know what he was trying to do with her. It almost seemed like he was trying to get Chloe to believe his lies, to, like, you know, basically change who she was and make her believe it. And I love how one of his comments is, sometimes our brains trick us into believing our fantasies are real. I loved the look that Chloe gave him. That was priceless and hilarious at the same time. I kind of moving along to Kevin. I enjoyed the situation with him, Kevin and Michael, where they were kind of flashing back. I looked him up too. I saw that originally he was an internet predator, Kevin. So I did not strike him as that type. I know, like, from what I read, he was actually dating teenage Lily at the time. So, but either way, it was really interesting to see that flashback, and it was, regardless of the internet predator thing that I read, it was kind of an interesting send-off if they are going to send Kevin away and we're not going to see him again. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more with that, though. The whole them getting out of the house in the first place seemed a little not believable to me. And then when they were driving away in the car, it also seemed like it was a little too easy. And they mentioned the doctor's accomplice. I wanted to see that guy, too, to see how he was going to affect everything. And I also wanted to see him and Chloe actually leaving. So maybe that's just me, but I wanted to see more with that. Let's see. Demo says, Doctor creepy. Yikes. Yeah. Oh my God. That guy, first of all, whoever that actor is, yeah, he deserves a round of applause because he pulled off creepy real well. I was creeped out. And her wearing the dress, oh my God. And I'm just going to end this little segment here with the big reveal at the end. Well, not really a reveal. It's more like when Chelsea comes by and Kevin's with Bella, and Bella says, we're going to go see Mommy. Oops. Yeah, that's not going to work out so well now for Kevin because Chelsea knows what's happening with him. Even if he tries to explain, you know, I don't know, lie about it and get his way out of it, it's not going to work too well for him because someone knows. And then what if they find out Chloe's alive? And oh my gosh, a lot of drama. So to me, I know, like, I've been reading that they're sending Kevin away, But I don't know. Maybe they're not, because it seems like they're setting it up so that he's either not going to get out of there, or where he's going to get tangled up in another web and be drugged back into the drama again. So we kind of touched on Dewan, Mariah, Hilary, and Jordan. The only other thing I'm going to say about this is with Mariah. And I thought this quote was pretty, I thought the scene itself was pretty touching. In Crimson Lights, when Mariah is talking to Sharon, and Mariah asks, do you think that we only have, do you think we ever get over, do you think you ever get over the love of your life? And Sharon's response is, I don't think we only have one love. Now, I thought it was pretty powerful, especially considering it's a nice mother-daughter moment. And just the fact that, I don't know, I felt like they were opening up. I don't know if they've opened up like that before, but it's a really sweet, refreshing relationship on the show, especially considering all the parental hate we've seen, all the sibling angst toward their parents for whatever reason. It's just nice to see that they were able to share this moment, and that the mother was able to kind of impart this wisdom on her daughter, and maybe help, maybe not. I don't know how much good it did, but at least Mariah, you know, was able to hear something like that from her mom. Demo says, Kevin was supposed to be a 2-week character, but got a contract from Y&R. Yeah, I heard that too. And I heard that, speaking of Kevin, this made me think of Esther. I heard she was kind of the same situation. She was just comedic relief. She didn't even have a name. And that I think Katherine started calling her Esther, and then they worked her in to the script that way. All right, last thing we're going to touch on here before we get to our segments. Let's talk about Nikki's concert a little. So she finally returns. I was honestly, after every crazy thing we've seen on the show, I was honestly expecting that we were going to find out she was kidnapped, something crazy like amnesia, and she forgot who she was. And she, I don't know, she was with someone else and she was going to come back one day. Or that maybe someone else that we knew in the show was helping her run away. I thought Tessa might know where she was. I just thought it was going to be way more dramatic than what it turned out to be, which is that she just showed up and suddenly she was like, yeah, I'm good. I'll do the show. Ready. And I love how Nick was super protective of her, though. That was kind of a really sweet moment, too, in a way. I mean, I get why he'd be protective. He's really concerned about his mom, especially the tragic moment where she's playing all the keys right, and then he leaves. He's like, you win, Mom. And then I guess she obviously doesn't realize he's still there in the doorway, and she starts messing up keys left and right. I feel bad for her. This could just be me. I'm not a huge fan of Victor right now. I mean, he seems decent enough at this point. I've read and heard things that he's done in the past that were really, really, really crappy, and I know that he's been a source of, like, the bad moments. Yeah, but I generally just don't like him, and I actually prefer, when I saw Nikki with Jack, I thought that would make a much better, I thought she'd be much happier with him. He seemed more concerned. I mean, Jack was like, yeah, don't do this. Nick, don't do this. Like, people who care about her seem to be saying, don't do this concert. You don't have to. And before, like, she was obviously doing it for Victor before. Now she's come back. She says she's doing it for herself. So, okay, maybe she is. But, yeah, I don't know. I feel really bad for her. I don't think she should do the concert, especially seeing her in all that pain. Who would want to go up in the spotlight and be in that much pain and have to worry? It's probably super stressful for her. Demo says she feels bad for Nikki. She's really struggling with her MS. Yeah, definitely. And Victor's pushing Nikki way too hard. Yeah, I agree. And Victor, he seems like he can be a good guy. I mean, that moment he shared with his granddaughter I thought was really touching. Or not granddaughter, daughter, Abby. I don't know why I thought granddaughter. But yeah, that moment was touching. But I do not like him with Nikki, and the way that he's pushing her is completely ridiculous. Aaron, I cried so much when Nikki had her MS flare-up last week. Yeah, that was really sad. Yeah. Just to... She's a, you know, she just should not have to go through that, to be put up on the spotlight. And I'm sure the stress of performing is not helping either. And I think that it was even mentioned on the show that she's not used to performing. So we'll see what happens with that. My prediction there is that she's going to get up there. She'll do the show like she said she would, but it's not going to end well. And I think she might have another flare-up like the one where Tessa found her. And, you know, maybe then Victor will get the point that he shouldn't have pushed her. Let's see. Demo says, yes, Nikki looked very vibrant and relaxed. She did. She looked a lot better, but still, when she got on that piano and couldn't play the notes, it was very obvious that it's, you know, she's probably not going to be okay up there. Cheyenne says, seeing how Sharon keeps going back to Nick, she was lying to Mariah about One True Love. Yeah, you know what? I thought of that too. And plus, I don't know the show well enough to know who her other loves were, but I mean, can you guys think of anyone else that she legitimately loved? Because when Scott's name came up, Sharon was like, no, I can't say that he's one of my loves yet. But yeah, I still going back to that. I think Nick and Sharon should eventually, like, they seem like they're meant to be together. Yeah, Demo, Sharon and Nick meant to be. All right, so let's go ahead and skip over to the lol moments of the week. I love that. And my number one moment goes to when Charles, when he came over and he was, you know, for whatever reason, he does not like Reed, and they kind of went at it. When he started calling him Chuck, Chucky, and Chuckles. Yeah, that was hilarious. I was like, oh my God, who does that? Well, he did, and it was hilarious, and I loved it. Whoever wrote that in, especially the Chuckles point, that made my day. Thank you. Everything with the creepy doctor, he was creepy, yet he made me laugh at the same time. So, I don't know. It was just super creepy. And, oh, you know how they kept showing the gun, too? I was like, yeah, it's like Stanislavski said, if you show a gun, you better use it. And sure enough, it did kind of come into play, and it went off at one point. But yeah, the doctor, creepy and funny at the same time. And then lastly, Kevin's acting with the whole car situation. It just seemed... So he gets out, he tries to fix the car, I guess because of the flat tire, and then all of a sudden it blows up. And then I shouldn't be laughing at this, but to me it's hilarious because just the way he jumped away from the car, and then here's the killer. We cut back to him, and we see him all scraped up, and he looked like something out of Frankenstein. I was like, whoa, Kevin, rough day? Yeah, I thought that was hilarious. And let's see. Let's check back in with some of the comments here. Demo said, Reed's very sharp. His character is starting to grow me. Yeah, I agree. And, like, it's interesting, too, because, you know, like, from what I'm seeing with this show, we see these kids, like, you know, for example, Sharon and Nick. We saw them as high school sweethearts, and eventually we grow with them. So I'm wondering, you know, obviously Maddy and Reid are probably the next generation of kids we're going to grow with and see what happens with them. And I'm very interested to see that relationship and where it goes. Right now it feels very innocent and loving to me. And, well, maybe not loving. Maybe they're not at that point yet. But it feels very, you know, like puppy love-ish and like it's going to grow to a really nice place. Brian says, Charlie is starting to annoy me, especially with his treatment of Maddy and Reid. Yeah, I could see, I mean, it was kind of, I jumped into this pretty much when Maddy and Reid were already when Reid was starting to kind of ask her out. So to me, I don't understand why. I just assumed that Charlie had a good reason for treating him as he does. I could be wrong. There could be nothing. So, but that's just me. Demo says, I wanted Kevin to go to the ER So many scars on his face. Yeah, it was like so many like random cuts. And the dude, like, I could see why they cast him as an internet predator. Because he just, okay, he wasn't as bad as the creepy doctor, but yeah, he totally had this like angsty, angry look on his face. So, yeah. Joe says, no, he fell down a mountain. Sorry, he fell down a mountain. We'll go with that. I mean, why would anyone think that he actually fell down a mountain? Couldn't you even come up with a better excuse for what happened to his face? And Joe also says, what's up with Charlie? He's being so mean for no reason. Yeah, okay, like, you know, Demo says to that, Charlie's a teenager, he's bound to be moody. Yeah, okay, I agree with both those points. So, my predictions, like I said earlier, somehow Cain's not the father. Mariah and Dewan, I think they're going to break up. And 3, I think Nikki is definitely probably going to do that concert, but she's going to fall ill and there's going to be this huge dramatic moment and it's probably going to make us all cry again because she's going to be in a lot of pain and I'm going to be really angry at Victor. So those are my predictions. Again, thank you guys so much. I think that about wraps up our time together. You guys were an amazing group and I couldn't have done this without you. Enjoy the song. I've been playing this on repeat. It's Imagine Dragons Thunder. And I'm gonna dance really badly to it. But I'm alone so I can dance badly.
Where can we find you?
Oh, you can find me on Twitter at Rachel Goodman or on Facebook at Rachel and Goodman.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.